We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Eugene Asante, Miami Dolphins undrafted free agent linebacker. Has had a pretty decent preseason. I think he's shown his flashes. Like, you can definitely see his strengths and weaknesses on the film that, have kind of shown up. But he is a guy that plays very fast and hard, like, gets downhill, willing to play physical. Maybe not the most instinctive linebacker. He can definitely work on that from that perspective. But, like, he is going to come downhill. He is going to hit you. He's going to play hard, fast. His skill set really translates to special teams. And to me, I look at it hit, and I've seen him play special teams so far. He needs to work on like finishing some tackles, but he has typically been the first one down the field on the kickoff, like every single time. Just like the finishing part of the game could be a little more consistent. Dolphins doing some different stuff with run fits. I just like how he's willing to throw his body into things. And to me, he's still like a practice squad target for sure, just based on the room. But I would say out of the UDFAs, he is one of the ones with at least, I guess, like it's a small chance, but at least a chance to make the roster. I think pretty much most other guys are out of it, except for maybe one or two. So yeah, make sure leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. For the YouTube algorithm. But I think he's done some solid stuff on film. You see plays like this where Dolphins out here in their over front, this 3-tech playing to the strength here. He's backside, probably responsible for this initially for this B gap, but he's able to replace right here, the end kind of knifes to the inside. He's able to replace, get to the outside, fill, and just show off like great pursuit. Takes a great angle here. You want to be just like in phase with the runner, like a yard inside of him. And he's able to close, show that range, and finish with a nice tackle. I feel like when the reads are kept pretty simple for him like this, and he can just play downhill fast, similarly to like a Willie Gay, where you want to keep the read simple, he can play and make those types of plays from a physical perspective. And he is someone I would keep around. I think just there's not enough spots to keep him on the defense, like on the actual roster. But he is someone I think you should potentially try to keep around for practice squad, because I could see him end up being like a special team stud, like last linebacker you leave on your roster type of player. Some more plays. Decent job scraping off the top of this, kind of working off this block one. He's communicating pre-snap to like a shift over Dolphins. He's kind of responsible for initially for this B gap, but he kind of identifies this double team happening right here and knows like, hey, this is where like my primary gap, but I can scrape over the top and fill in here. Is able to, kind of see what's going on, get over the top, stay square, stay tight to this to constrict the run lane, and then help make that tackle to limit that gain. Like, this shows pretty good awareness in the situations, just understanding like your run fits and making these adjustments on the fly. It's something that, I think he struggled with a bit in college. So seeing him kind of do these plays in the preseason, I think is a solid sign for him. That's pretty good stuff. In coverage, I would say hasn't been super impressive. When things are kind of like thrown down in front of him as a spot dropper, there's been inconsistencies. But like, he's able to fly downhill like just on this, get the ball through, finish with a big hit. I know in the Bears game, he actually had like a personal foul call. I thought the personal foul call was pretty weak, but at least he's shown out there going, making some big hard hits. Definitely a type of player you're probably looking for on Miami. Here he makes a decent play, just flying there, but looked like they got a run blitz call from the linebacker here, and he just comes and takes on the guard one-on-one. He is a small backer, and he's able to at least get some pop there, not really get moved too much. He's not a guy who's really great at stacking and shedding, but he is very willing to take on some contact, and he is able to at least create some separation there and help make that tackle with Zeke bigger. So decent job in those spots. Here, I think he actually identifies the play pretty well, the flow from outside zone. Dolphins are in an underfront, which is, the 3-tech is to the weak side here, 1-tech to the strength of formation. They run away from it. So, he's kind of typically going to be responsible here, and then he's able to get over the top, actually kind of gets where he needs to be, but the kind of slows down, left tackle gets a body in him, and it kind of just knocks him off balance. It's just, yeah, like I'm talking about, sometimes there's like these good initial parts to play, and then it just doesn't finish exactly like how you want him to. Kind of falls over. He does do his responsibility of filling his gap, so it's not like a huge negative play. They don't really, set the edge super well there from Cameron Good. Dolphins were also doing some interesting like stunts versus the run. Like, look how they end up doing this. So Jordan Phillips initially lined up as like a 2-eye, one tech here. It looks like he's gonna be as like the in charge of this A gap. He ends up working back. They kind of like exchange gaps here. He goes to the take the B gap. And then you would think Tyndall's responsible for this A gap, and then Asante responsible for this B gap. But Asante ends up taking this A gap. Tyndall ends up taking this A gap while he goes to this B gap. So they end up getting like a run stunt here going on. And he helps kind of disrupt this play initially because he throws his body into a center, kind of resets, throws him off balance, able to constrict that run lane, muddy the water, at least take it on block. So then Jordan Phillips can win his one-on-one rep and create this. So even though, Asante didn't finish super well, he does help end up kind of taking that play away, flashing the potential there. You could see how there's some real potential, but that's why, he's for sure a practice squad target for me. Like here in coverage, just not trusting himself. Like he drops out, kind of read the eyes of the quarterback where his body language is. And, he looks like if he actually full commits, maybe he gets this ball, probably still doesn't quite get there. But he just slows down, hesitates, doesn't trust what he's seeing with his eyes. Ball gets behind him. I don't think he had that innate instincts to feel and awareness around you, receivers behind you. I just don't think he has that. I think you do more man cover stuff. That's where he's more comfortable. Very actually kind of similar to Willie Gay. Like if he's on your practice squad, Willie Gay gets injured, he's someone you could probably add out there, at least make the special teams impact. Here, takes on the block of a tight end, able to stack, shed, throw that off, make that tackle. Just like seeing him play some physical, taking on some blocks. Definitely a willing participant in that area from Asante. It's nice to see him also just make like these more patient reads, working off these blocks. Like, initially I'd be responsible for this. Able to replace Zeke here instead of filling up in this gap. He sees Zeke get, kind of block down. They attack the low hip. It'll say square, scrape over the top, just fill where he needs to be, and then help get involved, make that tackle. Nice to see him playing in more of that, just like slow read type of position. He doesn't. You don't always have to fly downhill. Like I feel like people think like the super processors are guys who are just shooting gaps, flying downhill. No, sometimes you got to be able to play in this more like shuffle read situation, work through the trash, and then scrape over the top, make a play. That's actually I think a better sign typically of processing. Sometimes the guy that are shooting downhill, it's more so them just kind of guessing or being in a run blitz situation. They kind of end up getting lucky. Here, Asante just shows off some sideline to sideline range while also working through contact. Does a really good job taking on a lineman while being kept unclean. I think that's one of the big, notes to take away with a guy that is smaller. So he's very willing to beat blocks and then get out there, make a tackle on the perimeter. Really, actually, impressive job. I know he's to the play side of this toss, but the fact that he still gets there and is exactly where it needs to be, but while taking on an unblocked lineman, very, very impressed with that stuff. That sideline to sideline range is good work. And here's Asante. You want to see him just finish on special teams, but like look at him easily beat this block. Like this is where he could be a special teams demon. So even though he doesn't make these initial tackles, he is the one that kind of slows them down and moves them off their initial spot and allows everyone else to rally. But man, if he can start making some of these, look how easily beats that block. He's just playing a little out of control. He's playing so fast that he's like a little out of control. So it's something that can be worked on. Here he is again beating his block. This time making it the first contact on the opposite side of the field. This guy does a great job staying on his feet. He kind of gets knocked off balance there. But Asante, first guy there again. So like there is some special teams potential in these situations, and like I think he was a very good special teams player in college. So that could be an issue. I think a spot where like most of these UDFAs are probably guys who either won't be here or practice squad guys. But like future potential, like I could see him actually sticking on the team because of that potential with the special teams, and he plays. He's also like a very like high character potential leader guy. So hopefully, maybe he gets that chance down the line. I don't think it's gonna happen this season, or at least not off the rip. So if you guys should do it, like comment and subscribe.